Hello fellow warriors against consensus reality and lovers of truth and wisdom. It's video time again, and what an interesting time we live in. With the mandatory mask and the increasing totalitarianism going on around the world, and some of us laugh because some of us remember the 14 days to flatten the curve. Remember that one? I fucking do. That was almost a year ago. And here in Australia, in the state I live in at the moment, there's mandatory masks when in public transport and whenever you enter any kind of enclosed shopping centre or place of business. But of course, you see people with their masks even walking fucking outside. People want to be enslaved. People want to be led. People want to be told what to do. And it's enough to make me, first of all, be ashamed to be human. Second of all, to realise that there's an increasing number of us who really feel that we are outsiders or are aliens to this totalitarian wonderland. And many of you may be aware of the idea of a parallel society, and it's not exactly what you would think. I mean, you have some people saying, oh, you know, let's find property somewhere and have a community and like a 60s hippie commune kind of thing. Yeah, that's been done before and it's failed miserably. Next. What else have you got? Because the ego mind always gets in the way, and that's just part of being a human being. But no, the parallel society that some people have discovered is living in this totalitarian wonderland, but not being a part of it. Because as much as I want to, as much as the big tech and big pharma and all these other psychopathic so-called elite gobshites, as much as they try, they've got the whole thing wrong, because they're still labouring under the antiquated Victorian England idea of materialism and by extension atheism, i.e. the human being is a biological computer, and a computer can be controlled and done this and that and the other. Well, no, we're actually infinite awareness inhabiting a current meat bag. Now, that's what they're not realizing. That's what they're not taking into consideration, and that will eventually lead to their downfall. We're not biological computers. This meat bag we leave behind at the moment of death. And as I said before, and as I love to use sarcasm against it and take the piss out of it whenever and wherever I can, people who proudly say, oh, I'm an atheist, are basically saying that they are mindless slaves to... They're basically saying, and if I may say rather crudely, crudely is the best way, they've basically accepted the esoteric butt plug. Nothing more, nothing less. Because the antiquated idea of materialism and atheism was purposely designed to keep people low and powerless and totally dependent on the system and the powers that be. Even going further back, a psychopathic gobshite named Constantine decided to use the then developing literalist Christianity, one of many forms, I might add, as a vehicle of totalitarian control, and boy, didn't it work. Right up until the Hellenic refugees escaping west to Italy, to Florence and Venice and other such places, to escape the wrath of the dirty, mindless, bestial Ottoman Turks. Presto changeo! The Renaissance. You're welcome, by the way, for the original and the rebirth. I read a book once upon a time talking about this very thing, and apparently there were possibly tens of thousands of people escaping to Venice alone. Many of them from the island of Crete, actually. So, you know, artisans and all the rest of it, thinkers and scholars and blah 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 blah. People who had secret schools, because the Ottomans weren't big on learning of any kind. Yeah, you'll find that's the signature of totalitarian control. Real knowledge and wisdom goes out the window and is demonized. And he's somehow taken over and subverted to mean something else. They're doing it mainstream, especially American media, are trying to do that with the Norse, the sacred Norse symbols and heathen symbols, which I find really fucking stupid. Because only in America will you find talk about black versus white and white supremacist. I'm sorry, but while all of us are being under the thumb of the totalitarian control machine, no one's supremely anything at the moment. But that's another story. And so some of us are realizing that we can actually function, for the most part, under this new totalitarian scamdemic regime, while still keeping our individuality and our own inner thoughts and feelings and creative expressions and gifts of imagination and all that other wonderful revolutionary stuff that flourishes under such conditions. And that's really where it's at. The people who spoke of, oh, you know, a revolution and going with guns, no, I'll leave that to you Americans. Guns are a real cowardly pussy weapon. Fuck's sake. If you're going to kill a man, at least feel the strain in your shoulder as you swing the axe or the blade and get his blood all over you. You owe him that at least. Yeah, let's stand all the way over here and squeeze a puffy little trigger. Bang, bang. Fuck off, man. You call that a fucking weapon? A gun is a weapon of cowardice. Fuck off, weapon. But that, as I said before, as my ancestors themselves so wonderfully developed the idea of an empire of the mind, or in this case, a revolution of the mind, of the heart, of the soul, of the spirit, which all vehicles of control, including entertainment and mainstream media, have tried to suppress and eliminate during the last few years. What do you think the woke agenda is all about? It's castrating the power of the deep-seated power of humanity. It's trying to castrate the true power of imagination and symbolism, which has existed since the beginning of time. Meanwhile, it's all about let's put a a gay, lesbian, cross-dressing, transsexual, black trans person. No, how about you put a human being, considering we are all members of the human family? How's that for a novel idea? The universal human experience. That's what archetype and mythology and symbol is all fucking about. It's not really fucking difficult to work that out. I discovered that when I was fucking 10 years old. Oh, you need to have or my favourite latest one. Check out Mecha Random 42's video on it. Hilarious. How the woke media now saying Cobra Kai is too white. I'm sorry, but last time I checked, the colour of one's meat bag is inconsequential. If you're a cunt, you'll be treated like a cunt. It's that simple, regardless of what your meat bag colour is. And so to be able to relate to the character, even though it's well-written characters, tap into the universal human experience. Oh, they have to have this kind of coloured meat bag, or that coloured meat bag, or this sexual orientation. Let's start shaming straight people now, right? Should we have our own Mardi Gras now? For fuck's sake. And people wonder why I've been a monk for 13 years. You're kidding, aren't you? Fuck. Or another wonderful thing, let's of vehicle of control. Let's try to infiltrate and subvert and change and make whatever organisation or collection of like-minded people disempowered and flaccid, quote-unquote Stifler, like a floppy cock. Yes, I'm briefly referring to MGTOW here. But I digress. And so, the power really is within each and every one of us. To be free in one's own mind, in one's own life. Because I can't control your thoughts and your inner world unless you let them. Who was it from the old days? One of the Rat Pack, I believe. Could be wrong. Who said, you can't shoot a man for what he's thinking. True. And yes, they're trying to desperately sort of find out through various little gimmicks and gadgets and all manner of technological fuckery to actually find out what people are thinking and feeling. Well, I'm sorry, you can't. Deal with it. One's own inner world is the last bastion of true freedom that we have. You try to engage in a system, it won't work. The system is rigged, the house always wins. Unless most of those toilet paper, panic buying, religious mask wearing gobshite sheep out there actually rise up, which won't happen in our generation, because people are too fucking stupid. The normie sheep out there, the mindless grazing consumers, they have no fucking idea what's going on. They watch and read the propaganda machine called the news each and every day, and they sort of puff their little chests out and they pretend they're well informed. Yeah, it means you're a good little slave and you've accepted today's dose of propaganda. Run along now, Johnny, and play. I mean, hell, my own brother. It's like, oh, look at my post on Facebook, quoting the official World Health Organization figures on the scamdemic. Yeah, good one. You're a good child of mindless propaganda. Good for you. So all these ideas of people rising up and protesting and actually, you know, what recently happened, going to the Capitol building and acting like good little fucking gobshites. No. The house always wins. The system is rigged. The only freedom you can have effect on and control over is your own inner world, your own mind, your own heart, soul, spirit, your inner world. And don't ever let anyone tell you otherwise. And quick shout out, Citizen333, you're a fucking legend, lad. And I really enjoyed our Star Wars video. I'm developing a new Star Wars channel. I'll eventually get around to learning how to do all that wonderful video editing crap. Called the Jedi Rifster. So if you ever see that around, that's me. Probably in a few days put out my first video, all about, you guessed it, Star Wars. And thanks to author Stephen Walton for suggesting that, to get my voice out there in the fandom menace. So I will do that. Be good at it, be irreverent, be sarcastic, and discover your own inner freedom. The Mind Traveller on guitar, out.